Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. We have from 1975 Miller Lite, 4.2% alcohol, 96 calories. Brewed with crystal malt, corn syrup, hops, Galena hops, and Saz hops. Malt, hop extract also, and I think it's triple filtered. Triple hopped. Might be triple filtered too. Got the old throwback can, and it's certified kosher. Now, this is a 24-ounce can of beer, light beer. You might remember those commercials from years ago. They had that long neck Miller Lite bottles with the swirl top, and it said when it swirls around, it makes it better when you pour it out. Bud Light is the competitor, introduced in 1982 as Budweiser Light. Also 4.2% alcohol, but 110 calories. They use water, barley malt, rice, and hops. And no corn syrup, as they tell you. Now, I was looking at the Miller Lite website. They were really emphasizing, corn syrup is fine. A lot of people use corn syrup, not high fructose corn syrup. They're, who they're throwing that at, like some beer companies. We use brewer syrup, damn it. All right. They didn't use that exact expression, but that's what they're saying. We're using good stuff. All right. Now, in 1967, there was a company called Meisterbrau. Okay. They came out with a beer called Lite, L-I-T-E, from Meisterbrau. It was called Lite from Meisterbrau, Chicago company. It was presented as a diet beer. They showed women in leotards working out, and she was like, drink this and you can get your figure looking good. And didn't catch on. That company struggled. In 1962, they were bought out by Miller, meaning they were bought out by Philip Morris, who owned Miller Brewing Company. Okay, Philip Morris bought them because that's who owned Miller, and that was that was the biggest stockholder of Miller Brewing Company until 2016. Altria, Philip Morris became Altria. All right, now so there. Let me put these back so they warm. So the head of the company said, we're going to make a light beer that's going to succeed. And it needs to be fixed, like it tastes better instead of some weird health food product. And then it needs to be marketed better. So they redid it as Lite, L-I-T-E, from Miller, no longer Lite from Meisterbrau. And they stopped making Meisterbrau in 2005 anyway. Meisterbrau Lite. That didn't succeed. Well, Miller didn't do anything to promote it. You can see the Bud Light in my left hand is darker than the Miller Lite. Miller Lite is straw. The Bud Light is more golden. So their idea was to say, look, we make all these nice cigarettes that people smoke. They're going to get strong, well-known football players to promote it and say they came up with the term tastes great, less filling, and all that. And I can remember those advertisements in 1975 when they launched it nationally, because they had test marketed in 73, 74. And the initial results were positive. So when they really came out the gate with this big ad campaign in 1975 with great, tastes great, less filling, at first, other beer companies looked on it like, this is some kind of joke. Nobody's going to drink this. Schlitz must have thought, yeah, it's no joke, because they hurried up and came out with Schlitz Light in 75. I'll show you an old thing. So first they had this Schlitz Light with the sun on it. You might remember this old 1975 Schlitz Light. And it looks like some kind of wallpaper that people had back in 1975. You saw that on people. That was like the style, man. Special lager, Schlitz Light beer. Schlitz Light beer is less filling and it has 1/3 fewer calories than our other fine quality beers. Glad I got this glass. I need to wash it, but I don't ever drink out of it. It's got this paint, so it obscures the beer in there. It's nice to have as a collectible. And then they got rid of the sun and they updated it with this Schlitz Light. Had a big ad campaign, didn't really work. Natural Pilsner beer. I think this was after the Schlitz scandal where they had to dump 500,000 barrels of beer down the drain in Tampa, Florida when they had that scandal, which they never recovered from. Schlitz Light, actually. Hold on a minute. Hello? Well, I'm doing a video right now. Can I call you back? I was cutting some limbs and stuff. Yeah, okay. All right. Bye-bye. Something told me, I said, watch, somebody's going to call me while I'm trying to do this. Don't call all day, but if I'm get on, oh well, I'll call him back in a little bit. So, then Coors Light came out in 78, and then other companies got on board. Anheuser-Busch did some research, and you know how they are. That's a very aggressive company, or you might say ruthless. And in 1977, after the Schlitz scandal, then it was reported that Miller was using some kind of funky monkey ingredients in their light beer. It wasn't. So here they come, 1977, Natural Light. Our beer is natural. It doesn't have all these things they listed. We just use water, barley, you know, cereal grains, you know what that means, corn syrup and rice, and blah, blah, blah. Natural, natural. And then they had the big ad campaign. So that was your flagship beer. It's Miller Lite, which still stayed #1. And then Natural Light was, I guess, #2. And then Schlitz Light, #3. And then later Coors Light in the 80s, maybe 85, 86, 87 started to get popular. But meaning Coors Banquet became less and less popular. But then Anheuser-Busch decided, let's not get rid of Natural Light, but let's go all in and make Budweiser Light. That's the name. That's the beer everybody looks up to. So when they came out with Budweiser Light, that was the big deal, you know, and later shortened to Bud Light, the big deal. And now it's the #1 beer in America. One of the best selling beers in the world. Okay. So will I be able to tell these apart? I think I will. Oh man, that's too obvious. Which is which? I got to be careful with this. The Bud Light is too much darker compared to the Miller Lite. No, I didn't say it was better. I just say it's darker. Let's see. Meta Modern says something must have happened to make Bud Light out of the ingredients on the box. Yeah, they just figured they're gonna go after. They're just looking for an angle on people, man. And they know people are health conscious to some extent, at least, and they don't understand brewer syrup, right? So they figured that's a weapon we can use. So they started coming after them. And look, we have all the ingredients. And I think they were going after craft beer too, which some of them use some questionable ingredients. And so they just figured this is our angle. And the Millers all heard about it and saying, we're going to court because your commercial tricked people. And then Anheuser-Busch is saying, how did it trick people? We didn't say anything that wasn't true. So I prefer Miller Lite, says Jose. Hey, so I like both of these beers. Miller Lite slightly more, though. Hey, so Miller doesn't have any fruit flavors. No. Maybe in some of their beers they do, like those Steel 11 and all that. Steel Reserve 211 flavored drinks. I'd rather drink MGD or Bud Light, though, considering MGD is just superior to Miller Lite. Well, that's not a light beer, though, MGD. Hey, Ronald, how's it going, says Keenan. Oh, it's fine. I find Coors tolerable at best. Says Hayes, Banquet is good, though. Yeah, well, you're favoring the full body beers, which I favor myself. Keenan says, hey, Hayes. Nicholas Funari says, Miller Lite to me has a very distinct flavor. It's not bad, but it's different. What's up, says Hayes. When I first tried Miller Lite in 1986, I didn't like it. I said, because I remember sipping on beer as a little kid, and I liked it so much, like a little 3 and 4 year old or even younger. My parents would let me sip out the bottle. And so my friends were over and I was 18 and we could drink at that time. You could drink at 18 in Louisiana. And my dad had some beer and I drank some. And I was like, man, what's wrong with this beer? It tastes hollow, like it was hollowed out. That was Miller Lite. I didn't even finish the can. And I didn't drink beer for 10 years after that. Well, nearly 10 years, because that was like maybe June of 1986. And I didn't drink it again until February 96. But I realized, oh, it was the light beer that I didn't like, the hollow taste. If I'd have drank Miller High Life, I might have started drinking beer at 18. Could have saved myself 10 years of wasting time on soft drinks, and they're not healthy anyway. Well, the aroma's pretty standard. The flavor is watered down and sweet over there. Whoops. Since my nose went in it, I think it's Bud Light because I think I filled it slightly higher. I know it's supposed to be a blind taste test, but that's why I don't like these little variables. These little variables can give it away. Like just a slight difference in the weight can give it away to me. But I never thought Miller Lite and Bud Light were that remarkably different anyway. Other people will say, oh, I'll never drink Bud Light. Oh, I only drink Miller Lite and all this. And I thought to myself, I'm always thinking, well, whatever. This tastes kind of like the same to me. But I mean, the price is the same, so I never was a champion for Bud Light or Miller Lite. I never was waving the flag for either one. I always thought both of them were overpriced. Be me, I would drink Busch Light or I used to drink Schlitz Light. I didn't ever really drink light beer, but I knew people that would come over and visit or whatever, and they drank light beer, so I would just say, well, whatever they want. Old Milwaukee Light, Schlitz Light, you know, I used to drink that. Schaefer Light, which to me, they're cheaper. Miller High Life Light, another good example. They're a good deal cheaper. And Natural Light, another good example. And they taste better to me. I said they always taste better than Bud Light, Miller Lite in my booklet. Coors Light, same thing, overpriced. But that's it. People are brand conscious, man. They're never going to deviate. And I used to tell my father, who just called, I got to call him back. It's like, well, I don't know why you're paying all this money because you're not getting any payoff. Oh, yeah, it's way better than that cheap garbage. I say, you don't even know. I said, if you did a blind taste test between Coors Light and Schaefer Light, you probably couldn't even tell the difference. Oh, yeah. He'd say, Schaefer Light. Ugh. Then he'd make some terrible remark, which I'm not going to repeat. And I'm like, nah, this is 20 years ago I'm talking about, or longer. I'd say, I'll give you a blind taste test. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And I still stand by that. And I'm doing this right now for that reason. You can go pay all that money for Bud Light. I'm not. For what, a name? Well, they still taste hollowed out. I mean, there's some grain. There's some thin beer, what we would, a flavor commonly associated with American beer thing going on. I don't even know why these commercials talk about the hops, the Galena hops and the Saz hops. Yeah, well, can't taste them. I mean, I guess they're there for rounding reasons. It makes the beer round. It's not too sweet, not too bitter. But if you want a light beer that has some hop action, get the Milwaukee's Best Light. It does have, it's a little more bitter. And then, of course, your American beer drinkers are going to say, what? Oh, that stuff's nasty. You see, they'll interpret bitterness as nasty. It's like, I tell them, it's not nasty. It just has actual flavor, which is a turnoff to you because you want to drink water with alcohol in it. That's space. This is what people want, right? Like my friend Paul said, they just want to drink a lot of water, which is good to drink water. And so they can be at the football game, drink, and then they could get drunk without too many calories. And he's right. I mean, come on, you know he's right. And they don't want flavor. You know, they're eating hot dogs. They're eating hot dogs and chili, crawfish, boiled shrimp, tacos, tortillas, jambalaya, whatever they're making at a party or whatever you could think of people make. They're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, you notice that the triple hopping really makes a difference vis-a-vis this relative to the Budweiser." I mean, yeah, that's the two guys sitting over there on the ice chest talking about that. You know, the ones with no girlfriend at the game. The ones with the girlfriend are worried about the girlfriend, not the taste, the intricate. Okay. I got to catch up on these comments, and I'm going to call it. Sort of like Bush being considered light. Well, Bush is quasi-light, and Bush Light is really, literally light. Michelob Ultra is very good also, especially that organic one. Do you like Ham Special Light, Ron? Says BSKAFF21. I never had it. I never have been able to buy it. Luke Chelsea from United Kingdom, Northern Ireland says, we've just started getting Michelob Ultra in the United Kingdom. It's so light to the point it's like carbonated water as opposed to beer. And you're getting a different recipe now. Remember, you're getting some 3-point-something beer. You're not getting the true Michelob Ultra. We get a 4.2 Michelob Ultra. I have a feeling it's going to have a lot more body than what you're getting. And the one we have doesn't really have that much body. So I can imagine what you're drinking really must be like water. LaCroix beer, says, hey, wait till you guys get Miller 64 in the UK. Yeah, and they'll probably make it even weaker in the United Kingdom. Instead of being 2.8, it would be like 1.9. Backwoods Billy says, cheers. Cheers to you, Backwoods. Hey, so I'd recommend Mick Ultra. It's pricey, but good. If you're getting the original Michelob Ultra, if you're getting this watered-down version, it's like the Bud Light they get in the United Kingdom is not the same. It's even more watery than what I'm drinking here. And you know these are watery. Yeah, 3.5. It's like, come on, that's and you're getting a misapprehension of what we're drinking. 3.5 to 4.2 is a pretty big difference. Bud should be lighter. Miller actually has more spicy note, in my opinion, says Billy. Nicholas Finari, Michelob Ultra is actually pretty good. I don't buy it for myself, but it's around. I'll drink it. It's around. Do any of you guys like Blue Moon, says Keenan? Oh, I think it's all right. The Scaff says, yeah, if orange is in it. Backwards Billy says, something but Gene light and cheap and good. I don't understand what that means. All right, Michelob Ultra just has no off flavors and super easy to drink. No off flavors. These don't have off flavors. Yes, Blue Moon is good, he says. I drink Blue Moon and someone else bought it for me, but I wouldn't buy it myself. Ha ha. Can't argue with that. Keenan said, what part of Louisiana are you from, Ronald? I'm from St. John the Baptist Parish. We have 64 parishes in Louisiana, by the way. Michelob Ultra is a premium brand like Bud Light Platinum. Yeah, it's a above premium brand, really, because these are premium what I'm drinking. It's above premium. Taste premium, says Hayes, believe it or not. Always hated the taste of Bud Light, says Stephen Reed. Miller Lite is drinkable, but leaves much to be desired. Billy says Shock Top and Blue Moon are both good. I like Shock Top. Bush is great sometimes. Here in Georgia, it can taste different at different times, different months, says Stephen Reed. Luke says Bud Light we get in the UK is 3.5. It's just too low, says Hayes. He's right. What's your opinion on Keystone Light? I prefer Bush Light to it. It's a tie, I guess. I like them both. If I'm going to drink light beer, which I'm never going to do, I don't think. Never had Bush Light. Hard to find in Georgia. It's common here. Backwards, but they got rid of the bottles. They weren't selling, so it's all canned now. You can barely get the Bush bottles because they're not really popular, but the cans are like crazy popular in Louisiana. Genesee Light is Jenny Light. Right. That's right. I'm from St. Mary Parish, Ronald. Oh, St. Mary. That's the parish that's split into two pieces. Like part of the parish is here, and then it's part of it is down there. Kind of like the United Kingdom, but at least y'all have water separating the two parts. This has a different parish cutting through it. It's like Germany used to be. Remember, Germany used to be cut into two pieces. They had Germany and then Poland in the way, and then the rest of Germany, which actually led to a war. That's another story. Light beer and FMBs as well as RTD ready to drink mixed cocktails and Mexican lagers, the top sellers. Yes, that's true. I have always wanted to go to New Orleans, says Scaff. I used to support New Orleans. You remember I was a big promoter of New Orleans until the incident in the spring of 2017, so I don't even try to refer to it now. It's like hands off. All right. Well, which is which? This is a good question. Look, if I have to ask which is which, what is that telling you? There's no practical difference. You say, yeah, but you got a shot price. Not with Bud Light and Miller Lite, because the price is almost always exactly the same. So what we say now, it's a tie. I have no favorites. If you think I'm playing favorites, you're terribly wrong. I'm not. I don't care who wins. I don't even buy these beers. In addition, wine as well as craft distilled liquor cut into craft beer sales as well. Oh, yes. I watched a documentary in Louisiana last night on my local TV station. I'd love to visit. A British comedian and actor, Tony Robinson, visited and loved it. Oh, I like Louisiana. There's a lot to do here, you see. And usually it's warm. But boy, if it gets any kind of way chilly, it gets cold because of the humidity. You feel like somebody splashed water on you, you know. Doesn't even have to be that cold. You just feel cold. Sour beers are on the come up. I don't know. Are sour beers still on the way up? Seem like they've kind of peaked. I don't hear about sour beers like I used to. Man, in 2017, that's all you ever heard about. Every time you turn on the computer or get on, sour beers, sour beers. I was like, man, what is the deal with sour beers? People just got this thing. They want to drink beer that tastes like Gatorade. I guess it's exciting, but, or they'll say, nah, mine tastes like Warheads. Guess you could just eat a Warhead, but anyway, I'm not putting it down if that's what you want to drink. If that's what you want to drink. Ron, what is the temperature of beers being served? Cold, refrigerator cold. Well, I think I know which is which, people. That's the Miller Lite. It has that same hollow flavor. Not off. Just hollow. They are pushing kettle sours that can produce them fast, 1 week total. Yeah, boy. I don't really care for sour beers, but I mean, I don't hate them, but I don't ever think to myself, boy, I'd love to drink a sour beer. That's me. This comedian walked out of the train station and said it was so warm that he felt the city was sticking to him. Loved the parades, though. It's very sticky and hot in the summer. So very hot. And I'm used to it, so it doesn't really bother me. I'd rather the heat, honestly, than the cold. Because I find the cold in Louisiana is terrible with the humidity. The heat doesn't seem to be so bad. I mean, it's hot, but then you could just wear basically swimming trunks and nothing else, and you can walk around and be comfortable. You know what I mean? Just find some shade. It'll be a little breezy. You'll sweat. You'll be covered with sweat. It'll make you cooled off. It's not so bad. When is the next Fandango, says Basement Beer? I don't know, because my schedule hasn't been working out too well for that. Can't do it this Friday. Can't do it next Friday. I don't really know, because it's got to be Friday Fandango. I was thinking about that when I was walking. I don't know when the next one's going to be. The cold affects the taste and the aromatics. Yes, it does. Juicy, hazy IPAs are the big IPA right now. Oh, yeah, no joke. Professional brewers can ferment 1 week due to the shape of fermenters. Actually, Mexican lagers and light beers are top sellers, says Billy. Yes. I don't know if you are familiar with the British TV series Blackadder. Oh, yeah, about World War I, First World War. He was in it with Rowan Atkinson, who is Mr. Bean. Oh, yes. I remember that. I didn't really watch it, but I remember it. Yeah, it does have kind of a cooked rice taste. These rice lagers are crisper. I guess maybe. And it's such a small difference, a minimal difference, that it's barely worth talking about. But just perhaps and maybe the Bud Light is better. but I would be hesitant to say that. Sam Adams is down except for the FMBS to make Twisted Tea Ciders Angry Orchard up, so keep it Sam Adams up. It kept saying, oh yeah, Boston Beer Company struggling, yeah. Yep, you're right. Them and a whole bunch of other people. All right, so I'm going to say, he said dilly dilly. Just bought my first KBS, says Jack Cottrell. I paid $5.99. I don't know what you paid for your single. Oh, I loved it. I gave it an A+, but still, it didn't seem to live up to the price. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I paid $5.99. It was so good. But still, I paid $5.99. And then it was gone. I said, well, that was a quick, you know, that was a quick wonderfulness. But then people go out to eat, buy all kinds, you know, and you pay, you go out to eat and you pay a lot and you eat it and you say, it's so good. Then it's gone, you know. I don't know. I think you get a better value with liquor, though, because you could buy a 750 milliliter bottle and you could sip on it for months. You know what I mean? It won't go bad. Then the beer, my friend Paul, who used to do hangouts, but the kids kept climbing all over him. He'd always say that. This is Paul talking, not me talking. He'd say, that's a ripoff. You know, when you think about it, craft beer's a ripoff. I said, what are you talking about? He said, it's a ripoff. You pay all this money and then you just drink it and it's gone. You can't save it. I mean, after you open it. He says, but then if you buy liquor, he said, I got liquor at my house. I've had it for years and we could drink it, you know, and it's still good. And you could just drink it for months and you pay, and, you know, it's way cheaper per ounce when you think about it. And I was like, I don't know. At that time, I just wasn't into liquor and I was like, he's wrong. I don't know what he's talking about. What's this guy talking about? But then he's right. He is right. He's right. And the liquors have all kind of interesting, intricate flavors too. So you can have a lot of fun with those and you could really drag it out, you know. All right. So anyway, I got to get off of this. I'm going to call my father back. If ACN brews something that is equal to KBS at home, Brew Pro Craft Brewery can as well drink local. Not sure. Follow the Founders KBS versus Guinness. Well, it'd have to be a really strong Guinness. The foreign extra stout at a minimum. What is your liquor of choice? Says Backwoods said, if I can. He's talking about if you could do it. My liquor of choice, Biscaff, I don't have a liquor of choice. I'm just experimenting with different ones. You know, I taste them all the time, and they have so many good ones. So I don't really have a liquor of choice. I don't have a standby go-to. Like with beer, I have a standby, which would be like Keystone Ice, you know, because it's a lot of flavor, it has a lot of character, and it's cheap. $8.49 for a 15-pack. 86 Jin Juan says, how's it going, Ronald? Oh, it's going fine. Well, I got to get off of here, y'all. I find KBS tastes more of a 7% than 12, says Mitchell. I found that too. Honestly, when I was drinking that KBS the other day on the back porch when it was raining and I was drinking it and reviewing it, I was thinking to myself, I said, this does not taste like a 12.2 and it doesn't even feel like it. You know what I mean? I was thinking, is this true? Am I getting scammed? I didn't dare say it. I'm just telling you what I was thinking. I wouldn't mention this on the air, you see. But I was thinking, did I get scammed? You know, this thing it didn't even feel like it. You know, usually if you drink a 12.2 and you'd be like, oh, what happened? You know, what happened? Where am I a little bit? But that was like, well, I drank that. What's next? I couldn't get over that. It was very strange. That KBS experience was very strange. You say they tricked you because now you're going to buy it in 2019, aren't you? I mean, in 2020, huh? I might, just to see if that experience would be strange. So see, now I'm not going to buy KBS for the flavor. I'm going to buy it for the mystery. I'm hopping off as well, talking to your father. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to him. He might need something. Take care of him. All right, so let's see. I think this is Miller Lite. Oh, it's Bud. Got it wrong. But heck, what did I say the whole video? I can't really tell them apart. The whole thing was a crapshoot now. So what happens when I, in early April 2019, do a blind taste test with Bud Light, Miller Lite? I can't even tell them apart, which is fine since the price is about the same. So there you go. That's my experience with it. I can't even tell them apart. I have to think. Maybe I'll bring in another light beer. I think I have one can of Bud Light left. Maybe I'll bring in another light beer to challenge it. I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of light beer. Sorry. Thanks, folks, for watching this video production.